tool that you use to...
The hydrometer.
Okay, it's a hydrometer. Okay.
Mm-hmm. To test the specific gravity.
Okay, go on.
So to get the alcohol by weight or by volume, you need to know what the alcohol content is first. The alcohol content once you're done with the fermentation, you take the starting specific gravity, which I call the original gravity, and you subtract the final gravity, final specific gravity, and that's your alcohol content.
What's the potential that you...
The alcohol potential is what your starting gravity... Okay, so...
No. When you tested ours, what was the potential? You said like 17%?
It's going to be... so you get the potential alcohol by volume. By knowing what the specific gravity is. That's all that is. So and you can find charts for online for hydrometer. This one's off of homebrewit.com.
HOMEBREWIT.com. Okay.
And it's just, this is an article on their site that's hydrometer basics for home brewing and winemaking. So you can find this one. It's not going to have everything. Like ours is off the chart. So our reading was 1.142. This one stops at 1.130 at 17.7% potential alcohol. So we're going to be over 18% potential, but that's not a problem because I know we're not going to go that high because we're not going to convert every bit of sugar into alcohol. We're going to retain some sugars for sweetness.
Okay.
So we'll probably finish up somewhere around the 13 or 14% alcohol, honestly, which is 26 to 28 proof.
Okay.
It's not a weak wine at all. It's a very strong wine, but it's going to have good flavor. So that's in direct correlation. So your specific gravity, which correlates to your potential alcohol percent by volume, will tell you how many ounces of sugar you have, or pounds and ounces.
There's 20 pounds in that.
Per gallon.
Oh.
So at 17.7, which this one tops off at, will tell you you've got roughly 3 pounds, 6 ounces. So
per
gallon.
Per gallon.
So that's a 6-gallon bucket.
Yeah.
So that's pretty close to what you've got.
Yeah.
So
that's
just
that's
rule of
close.
Just round number ish. Yeah, that's pretty close. So this is a temperature correction chart. As long as you've got room temperature, you're not going to have to worry about adjusting your percentages. Your
okay, not too hot, not too
readings. Cold. Yeah, it's like 1,000%. So don't even worry about it.
Right.
As long as you're somewhere between 60 and 80.
Okay.
So that's not a concern. You want to keep the room temperature, 75.
70s. Yeah, 70s, mid 70s.
That's ideal.
Right.
But yeah. So we'll check this in about 2 weeks. And we might go an additional couple weeks after that, and then it should be done. Should only take about a month. 3 to 4 weeks, really.
Shazam, partner.
Bang. It's pretty simple. Once you've got the hydrometer, And these formulas here, when you finish, this is how you get your alcohol content. Like I said, you have your original specific gravity, subtract your final specific gravity to get your alcohol content. And to get your alcohol by weight, you take your alcohol content, multiply that by 105, and that will equal your alcohol by weight. For an alcohol by volume, you multiply 1.25. You take your, alcohol by weight times 1.25, and that equals your alcohol by volume. Alcohol by volume is what you're used to seeing on all of your liquor and your beer cans and your wine bottles.
Is that the proof?
That is not the...
That's a percent?
That's your percentage of alcohol.
Okay.
Your proof is usually on there as well.
Okay.
Like beer will go by alcohol by weight.
By volume?
Or by volume rather, yeah. And your proof is just 2 times
Double
whatever
that.
your ABV is.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's really just that simple.
Okay. Are we done with the video?
And
Oh, no. There's more?
yeah,
Oh,
you
wait,
just got to
there's
play with. There's certain yeasts only have the potential to go to certain levels of alcohol conversion with the sugar. So, like our yeast will only go to a maximum of like 13 or 14% that we're using.
I use the champagne yeast.
Yeah, that's about
Okay.
right.
I didn't
And
use
then,
the Lavalin one.
They're about the same content.
Okay.
That's why we got them.
Okay.
But there are yeasts you can get that'll go over 20%. If you want that, I'm more after flavor, really. But sometimes it's good to have that little bit of a bitterness from the alcohol. Then like your bread yeast, I think that'll only go to like 10 or 11% alcohol by volume.
Oh, really?
But it takes a lot longer. You're going to be fermenting for easily double the amount of time.
So you think the raspberry wine will be done in about a month?
3 to 4 weeks.
3 to 4 weeks. Okay, so we need to be diligent in checking it.
No. We'll check it in 3 to 4 weeks.
Well, we'll check it in 2 weeks.
Then we'll... Okay, what we can do is we can do it all... We can do a single primary ferment, or in 2 weeks
you're
we
going
can
way too far.
ferment, then we can pour... We can
Transfer.
not pour, but we can
Transfer.
siphon off into another carboy for a secondary fermentation for the remainder, like the other 2 weeks, and get it off of all the sediment that's going to build up on the bottom at first. If you leave it all on there too long, it's going to start building the flavors of the sediment, which is called a lease. I don't know why they call it a lease, but you want to get rid of that as soon as possible. It will leave some undesirable flavors and odors
You want it to be,
that you won't be able to get rid of.
you want it to be clean tasting and smelling?
You want a pleasant end product from all the effort you've put in and the money you've spent, which the money is not that much really when you think about all of the wine you're making for really not too much of an investment, but it is a lot of time. It is a good amount of effort.
Okay, well, consider we had to buy the sugar. 20 pounds was about $17.
That's really about all we paid.
And
A
a
little
package
package
of yeast, which was $1 something.
Yeah, nothing.
And we grew the berries, so
we're gonna get 6 gallons.
Yeah,
all the
about
berries were free for us.
So 6 gallons of wine for about $17-18.
$20 bill, yeah. So
let's take care of it.
very inexpensive for us. And it's enjoyable.
I love you, baby.
Love you too.